This is about being cursed. Some people have problems that are bigger than they are. It really is as plain and terrible as that. They're very unlucky. I might even say they're cursed. I don't think that's too strong a word. There are people who are blessed in this life, and there are people who are cursed. There may not be a reason, it's just the way it is. We were watching a show on TV last night, and there were two characters who had problems that were bigger than they were. And this is a very sad, a tragic condition. People living in an apartment building were upset because a unit had been rented to a registered sex offender. One man with two daughters was especially put out. He encountered the convicted child molester in the lobby and called him an animal. The pervert hit the man, even though he was much smaller, and the man gave him a savage beating. And at least in part, it was a punishment he invited, one he inflicted upon himself, for the crime he had committed, the crime he had been unable to resist, the crime for which he could not forgive himself, the crime that destroyed his life. The other suffering soul in the story was a private school teacher who got hooked on painkillers, opioids, and when those ran out, he turned to heroin. Now he's a junkie, the school released him, no one will hire him, and his life is ruined. He was not a bad person, but he contracted a problem that was bigger than he was. He had what they call a personal demon. It's possible that he could kick the habit, clear his record, and restore his life, but the odds are long against him. He's cursed. His problem is too big. Some years ago, our baseball team picked up a player whose promising career had been sidetracked by alcohol and drugs, his demons. He had partied his way out of baseball. But now he was reformed, he said. He'd gotten help and he'd given his life to Jesus and he was living straight for his wife and 3 children. It was clear in spring training that he was still a gifted player. He made the team in the starting lineup. When he stepped to the plate on opening day, he was given a standing ovation. He was back from hell. I called him rehab. I pulled for him, but I wasn't sure if he could make it, because the problem he had was big, maybe bigger than he was. It had beaten him before, and it was like he was haunted by it. The demons were there, waiting. He had a good year, and he was traded to another team for pitching. I followed him. He played even better for his new team. He became an all-star. He won the home run derby with a spectacular display of power in Yankee Stadium, no less, batting off his old high school coach, fairy tale stuff. He was the league's MVP. I remember Dave Chappelle quoting someone as saying, "Success will take you to a place where character cannot sustain you." Success excited the demons. In the off-season, there was a video that went viral of Rehab lying shirtless on a bar, drunk, surrounded by young women downing shots. He apologized to everyone, begged forgiveness from his wife and Jesus, seemed to recover, then relapsed again, and faded from baseball. His wife left him, and I don't know what's become of poor Rehab today. He was someone both blessed and cursed, and his curse destroyed him. My wife attends a yoga class, and after the last one, a woman came up to her and introduced herself. She was someone we'd known. She used to live on our street. Her husband had been terribly ill from diabetes and complications, and he'd died. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl, 2 sweet kids who were always over to our home, playing with our children. After her husband died, they moved. She told my wife that she had remarried, and her second husband had also passed away several months before. And, she said, my son is also dead. He got into alcohol, she said, and she left it at that. We don't know what happened or how bad it was, but we do know now that he's dead. And that crushes me, crushes something inside me. He was such a good kid, so generous to our children, but that problem was waiting for him, and it was bigger and stronger than he was, and it killed him. Those of us not beset or cursed like that, we can probably chalk it up to nothing more than luck. Hemingway wrote, I think, that a man can be defeated but not destroyed. I disagree with that bit of bluster. I think man can be defeated and man can be destroyed.